I feel like we've all done crazy things as kids. Some of us got our tongues stuck on frozen poles or got caught cheating on a test. Kids honestly just do crazy things in general. Sometimes I wonder why we don't have stronger survival instincts as kids because I swear, you leave one alone for more than 30 seconds and they always end up on the edge of a cliff or about to fall into an active volcano. And I wasn't any better. In fact, I was worse. I feel so bad for my mom because some of the things I did were insane. The first crazy thing I did was when I was a year and a half. I was what my mother likes to refer to as a monkey child. I used to climb everything. The people who lived in our house before us would travel to Florida every winter, so we had a metal protective gate on the patio door. The gate looked pretty, but the problem was that it was easy to climb. So, being the genius child I was, I climbed it every chance I got. The highest I ever climbed was 3/4 of the way up, which was about 5 feet. So if I fell, I would have gotten some pretty decent injuries. Stupid kids are stupid. Shortly after that, before I turned 2, I was playing on the deck at that same house, and my mom took her eyes off me for about 20 seconds. In that time, I managed to push a chair up against the deck railing, climb on top of that, and then start climbing onto our roof. My mom caught me just in time before I would have been out of her reach and fully on top of the roof. I nearly gave my mom a heart attack that day, and it gets worse. Another time, when I was around 2, we went to a family member's house for a gathering. We were upstairs, and they had this spiral staircase I kept trying to climb down. My mom thought my uncle was watching me because he kept stopping me from going down them, so she wasn't paying as close attention to me. But at one point, she looked back, and I was gone. My family started looking for me, except for all the women for some reason. All the men in the family went out looking for me, but not the women. They just stayed inside and kept chatting, so thanks a lot, ladies. My parents and the men looked everywhere inside, and I wasn't there. There was a lake in the backyard, and my mom and dad were afraid I fell in. They looked for signs of movement in the water, but didn't see anything. This house was in the middle of the bush, so there was forest all around I could have gotten lost in. It was going to be dark in a few hours, and my mom was starting to panic. Finally, my great uncle called out that he'd found me. I was walking barefoot in nothing but a diaper down the gravel road outside the house. But when he spotted me, I wasn't in the clear yet, because the road behind me went down and around a corner. So if a car came zooming around that corner, they would have hit me. Thankfully, everything turned out okay, but my mom nearly lost it. If my uncle hadn't found me, it could have turned into a whole search and rescue with the police and everything because of the forest and lake. Lots of kids go missing in forests and are never found. So I basically owe my life to my great uncle. Thanks, Uncle R. Fast forward to when I was 6, we used to have 2 hamsters, one named Hugs and the other named Kisses. I loved them to death and worried about them constantly. For some reason, I had this irrational fear they'd escape their cages and I'd never see them again. So one night, I woke up in a panic after having a nightmare that they had escaped. I rushed to get off my bed, but in my panic, I tripped over my covers and hit my lip hard on the side of my bed. My bed frame had these big wooden balls on each corner, and that's exactly what I hit my face on. My mom came running in because of all the commotion, aka me scream crying, and found me with a bloody lip. She got me cleaned up, calmed me down, and put me back to bed. But that same night, I woke up again and did the exact same thing. I hit my lip against the same wooden ball of my bed frame and somehow managed to injure the exact same spot twice in one night. Stupid kids are stupid. I went to school the next day with a huge swollen lip. I wonder if the school ever thought about calling CPS or something because honestly, the story is so ridiculous it sounds completely made up. Thankfully, they didn't. On top of that, I got a black eye once, but that happened at school, so my parents were in the clear. I barely remember what happened, but apparently I called some kid's name and he turned and ran towards me so fast that his forehead hit my eye. Not very heroic or cool. Maybe I should have made up a cooler story, like I beat up a burglar or got whacked by a shark. It made me the center of attention for a day or two at school, which I think most kids usually like, but I always hated that. Like when you lost a tooth and you were the class celebrity for a day. I hated being the center of attention because it made me all shy and awkward. Another time, my cousin and I were drawing and we decided to fake having chicken pox. Not to get out of school or anything, just to fake it. We used a red marker and drew dots all over ourselves. I still have the picture of us where my cousin is smiling and I'm there with a hand on my forehead pretending to feel sick. Suffice to say that my mom wasn't convinced. Apparently, I loved drawing as a kid. I loved it so much that I drew on the wall, carpet, and blankets of my room when I was around 6. At around that age, I also decided to be a criminal and stole a rock from my friend's cool rock collection. According to my mom, I didn't understand the concept of stealing. Apparently I thought it was just okay to take stuff that didn't belong to me because I liked it. She had to teach me what stealing was, and I ended up giving my friend her rock back. Another time, when I was 7, I was mad because my older brother got to stay awake half an hour later than me, so I decided to run away. In the middle of winter. I packed up some stuff and just ended up sitting in front of our yard on a snow fort for 20 minutes. Stupid kids are stupid. Also, when I was 7, I used to sit on the windowsill of the second floor of our house singing songs from the movie Annie. I was absolutely obsessed with that movie. I'll give you a wild guess what my favorite childhood stuffed animal is named. Yep, Annie. At the time, we lived in what we call a co-op for low-income families, which is basically a bunch of houses stuck together in a long cul-de-sac. So my neighbors right next door had to listen to some 7-year-old singing songs outside their window on repeat. The boy living next door to me ended up having a crush on me for years, which has always baffled me because he must have heard my annoying singing, so I have no idea what he saw in me. So yeah, those were some of the wildest things I did as a kid. Let me know about the crazy things you did when you were a kid. I'd love to read them. And thank you to my mom for helping me with the stories in this video. Also, thank you for 30 subscribers. Each and every one of you means the world to me. Bye!